What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the latest NFL draft prospect, offensive tackle Ikem Ekwonu out of North Carolina State. Before I dive into him and some of his statistics and film, make sure to go check us out on all of our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue for up to date exclusive content. We have several draft prospect videos already up exclusively on our YouTube channel. Our most recent one was on Kayvon Thibodeau, also talked about Evan Neal and Charles Cross. So now I'm hitting on the third of the big three offensive tackles. And Ikem Ekwonu is a junior, and he actually stated back in early March that he wouldn't be shocked if he went number one overall in this draft. We know the Jacksonville Jaguars hold that pick. We're not sure if they're going to go edge or offensive tackle. But to highlight this offensive line group, this is reportedly the fastest offensive line group ever at the scouting combine. Now, to Ekwonu, he said he sees himself primarily as a left tackle, but he's willing to switch to guard in the NFL. He mentioned that he just loves to dominate people. The one trait that I love about him through watching film, through going over some notes, devastating power at the point of attack. I mean, he's throwing guys like rag dolls all over the place. He wrestled in high school, so he has that going for him. He's been doing this for a long time now, despite just 3 years at NC State. Ekwonu actually has family in New Jersey, not too far from MetLife, and his twin brother plays linebacker at the University of Notre Dame. So the family history is rich in college football tradition. Now, Ekwonu's vitals. He is 6'4", 320 pounds junior, ran a 4.93 40-yard dash. For an offensive lineman his size to run that quick is pretty darn impressive. Also had a 29 vertical jump and a very long-limbed athlete. He's very aggressive, but the one thing about him that's somewhat negative towards his aggression is he needs to be more aggressive with more control. He's an excellent locker room guy, which I love, culture building type of personality, which you'd love to see. And I think when we're looking at pass protection, right, whether it's at left tackle or right tackle, you want solid quickness and range and pass protection. And he has both of those traits. In 2021, he improved with his hands, but I do think pass protection is where he needs the most work. He allows players to get outside on him sometimes, whether it's via stunt move. Inconsistent hand placement is another thing I noticed through watching some film. So Ikem Ekwonu, at these three offensive tackles, I think is the highest risk. I don't necessarily think I would rank him third, but he is a high risk, high reward type of player. And knowing how the Giants are and the way Joe Shane and Brandon Beane drafted in Buffalo, they built that Buffalo Bills offensive line without using a first-round pick on the unit over the last 5 years. Their highest selection was Dion Dawkins back in the second round of 2017. He was originally drafted as a guard and slid into their left tackle position. The problem is, I know Giants fans, and they will freak out if an offensive tackle is not selected at number 5 or number 7 overall because of A, how the fan base is, and B, the gaping holes we've had at these positions for the past decade. So it'll be interesting to see what Shane does knowing this and the three tackle prospects on the board, right? You have 2 elite edge rushers and 3 insane offensive tackles towards the top portion of this draft class. So one of those top 5 players will be available. But I think it's important for the Giants to not force an offensive line pick if they're not in love with the guy, and to just go over a couple of examples. In 2021, Spencer Brown drafted in the 3rd round by Buffalo. 2020, they didn't draft an offensive lineman. 2019, they took Cody Ford in the 2nd round. 2018, they found a gem in Wyatt Teller. Unfortunately, they traded him to the Browns, but you get the point. You see the trend here, ladies and gentlemen. Back to Ekwonu. In this past year, 2021, he started all 12 games at left tackle, played 820 snaps, and only gave up 2 sacks. 67 pancake blocks and 18 knockdowns. Not only was he first team All ACC, the kid was an All American. So you got to give him credit where credit is due. In 2020, he also started all 12 games, played 825 snaps, and allowed 7 sacks. So not too great in the sack department that season, but you know, it was the COVID year, and it's a team issue sometimes when it comes to sacks. A lot of moving parts on the offensive line. He still had 50 pancake blocks on 22 knockdowns in that season. Now, 2019, his true freshman campaign, played in 12 games, starting 7 at the left tackle position, played 641 snaps, and only gave up 2 sacks as well. So it's interesting because he started his collegiate career at left guard his first 4 games and then moved over outside to left tackle in his true freshman campaign. So I find that very interesting, right? Only 11 sacks given up in 3 seasons, 2 each in his freshman and junior year. So the improvement was there last season in 2021. And I'm very excited about this prospect. I'm going to dive into some film in him in just a few moments. But before I do that, I want to plug our proud sponsor, BetUS, America's #1 favorite sports book, where you can bet on the go, anywhere, anytime. Get live, quick, fast payouts on your mobile device. You can sign up with our promo code below there on our banner, Join125, where you can get a 125% sign up bonus up to $2,500, folks. That is BetUS, where the game begins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break down some film on Ikem Ekwonu. So this first clip here, you see he's circled where he's lined up at that left tackle position for NC State. This is going to be a run play. And watch what he does. I believe he blocks number 59, right? So they're doing a little pistol set with number 7 in the backfield. And here we go. He does a good job just creating that hole and decks 54 to the ground, and the running back scores a touchdown. So that first clip right there, I want you to really look back and see what he did to make this play happen. His block created this touchdown, which is crazy because they're barely across the midfield line, right? The whole line is in unison, but his block seals the edge, and that defender falling down creates that hole for the back to score. Now, we move on to the next clip here. This is Ekwonu here. He is going to, I believe, help out block. I think he takes down number 3. Now, this plays only a minimal game, so he sees the second level player coming in here trying to blitz because he reads the quarterback's eyes, and he decks him to the floor. Now, that's not much of a gain by the running back, but you'll see here again what he's able to do. Unfortunately, he left his man that was cutting in, and the running back couldn't pick him up in time. So that could be viewed as a weakness or just some type of miscommunication on that play. But nevertheless, that was a great block by Ekwonu at the second level. Unfortunately, you always have to concern yourself with the first level before moving on to the second level. Next up, here he is here, and kind of so there's help from the tight end. And what he's starting to do, you see he's pushing his guy back. And again, farthest guy from the play. But this is just an outstanding block on number 43. Guy has no shot, and it's beautifully done by Ekwonu. This clip might be my favorite in this entire film. Ekwonu virtually blocks 3 players on this play and runs all the way to the end zone with the running back. Now watch what he does on this play because they're at the 35-yard line. And reason why it's my favorite play is just the consistency and the hustle. First level block, second level block, still going after this guy. He's taking the running back with him. All right, well, he didn't reach the end zone, but you get the point. I mean, this guy is just moving people down the field like a truck, and you see it here from this end. Boom, boom, boom. 3 guys he's taken down, and he's half ahead of the running back. So I found that very interesting. Next up, we have a clip here against, I believe this is Mississippi State. And you can see number 79, Ekwonu. He does a great job of creating the hole on this play for the running back. This is another run blocking play, and you see what he's able to do here. Good cut block, takes down number 0. Running back goes off the far sideline for a good scamper. Now, this next play, you see Ekwonu here on the left side, big number 79 as the ball is being snapped. And they're up by 3 in this game, third quarter just underway. And they're at the Louisiana Tech 25-yard line. Watch what he does on this play. Again, simple draw. Look at him boxing out number 95. He's not holding him. He's basically playing like a basketball player on a football field. He boxes out his man, uses his body to his advantage, doesn't hold anybody, and watch this finishing block here. Boom, 17, hits the turf hard. And we'll see this again from a more close-up perspective. I mean, it's just beautiful technique, and here he is, just not giving up on the play. This is very interesting. And here's a play against Boston College where he makes a block running in space. You see him right here. They're pitching the ball left to the tailback, and here he goes yet again. That guy just took a shot. He's going to take another one, and Ekwonu, again, this is just textbook blocking. Now, we get into a few pass protection clips. This play is against Clemson. Now, not much here. Does a good job holding up his man, allows his quarterback to fire the football. That was clip number 1. Clip number 2 against Wake Forest. Again, this is a game, 2 ranked teams. NC State is in the red zone. It is crunch time. They are down by 11 points. Now they need a touchdown bad. So what he does here is very impressive. He is able to leverage his feet and push his defender towards the middle to create space. And watch and learn, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is a real work of art. The left tackle, Ikem Ekwonu, just did an outstanding job of pushing his defender all the way across towards the midfield line of the football field. And here we go against North Carolina. And I like this clip because, again, he doesn't do the best job on this play. He initially gets beat, but he does a good job holding up against the defense here. As you'll see, he's getting pushed back, but he's holding his ground. Quarterback's going deep. Receiver beats defense. Obviously, they sent the blitz, and they paid for it. And here's another clip here. So he blocks 2 guys on this play. You see, he sees his left guard is having a little bit of trouble, and he's afraid that interior lineman might get to his quarterback. So what he does is he chip blocks him, and I'll let you watch the rest. Chip block and recovers in time to seal the edge rusher. There it is again in real time. Quarterback pitches the ball to his running back. So, folks, that is some film on Ikem Ekwonu. I hope you enjoyed it. And after looking through some research and what people are saying about him, they're predicting this guy to have Pro Bowl potential by year 3. That is some big words right there by these scouts. But when you're a top 5 to 10 NFL draft prospect, you are going to garner this type of consideration. And if Ikem Ekwonu is a New York Giant come draft night, I can't be mad at all. I would be very pleased with this selection. Folks, what do you think about Ikem Ekwonu? I want to know your thoughts, your opinions. Feel free to comment below in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure to go check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate all the support as always. And without further ado, let's go Big Blue.